Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. And in this series, we're going to be going over Saturn in the houses, okay? Saturn in the houses, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about the 5th house. So having Saturn in your 5th house, all right? And before we get into that, I want to remind you, if you enjoyed the little intro, that's my music video, check it out. I have the links in the description box, and I'll definitely appreciate that. But yes, it's Saturn in the 5th house. And before we get into that, let's briefly go over what Saturn and the 5th house is. Saturn in astrology is the planet of discipline. It's the planet of construction, of building, working hard, labor, restrictions, okay, and responsibility. And this is because Saturn represents where you need discipline, where you need training. Saturn is your coach. And Saturn sometimes is seen as, a place, in your chart where things are horrible, but really it's where things are being built. It's where things are being trained and coached to do well. So it's going to feel like restrictions. It's going to feel hard, but it's to toughen you up, just like having a coach. And Saturn also rules your career, okay? So like your big work, your purpose, like not just your 9 to 5, but the job that sends you into a management position or like owning your own business. Saturn is trying to get you into your career, into your purpose, all right? And then we have the 5th house, okay? The 5th house is a house ruled by Leo. The 5th house deals with fun, leisure, self-expression, okay? Performance, how we express ourselves to the world. It also deals with sex, okay? Because sex is a form of leisure. Our kids, okay, when we create our kids, okay, this is a form of our expression, okay? So very creative, fun, leisure house. This is a house of fun, leisure, expression. All right, so the first thing I can say with people with Saturn in the 5th house is that in your childhood, you felt a lot of restriction when it came to having fun, feeling like a child, leisure, because our childhood is very connected to fun. Every time people think about, kids, they think about fun, having fun, playing toys, self-expression, just being free, not being like the responsible adult. But because Saturn is here, Saturn represents the responsible adult. Your childhood can feel like it was taken away from you because all that fun, leisure, ability to have fun, playing with your toys, expressing yourself, all of that was restricted. You could have been raised in a way where a lot of your fun and freedom were being limited. You weren't allowed to do that. You probably, had to go do chores and work. Your family could have had you, working and being responsible, but in some certain way or form, your ability to express yourself and to have fun and all of that was limited, okay? Lots of restrictions in that, and it can be, very difficult, especially at first, because again, 5th house is the house of fun. So to have this kind of very disciplined adult planet, okay, that rules responsibility and adultness in the Saturn and the 5th house, your childhood could have felt limited because of this, okay? Your childhood could have felt limited, and you could have been, because of this upbringing, you could have been groomed kind of in a sense to not have so much fun, be very responsible, not be comfortable expressing, certain fun, that you want to have, leisures that you want to have, you don't feel comfortable that way because so much of it was restricted. You could have been given so many adult responsibilities at a young age. That could be a Saturn in the 5th house manifestation. Or, just any time, you were trying to express yourself and have fun, you see lots of restrictions, lots of obstacles that come with this, okay? So Saturn in the 5th house is very tough because especially in your early life, because again, 5th house, rules your childhood, your sense of childhood, which is fun and leisure and just free self-expression is just so limited. It's so limited. You had so many restrictions with this, so you don't feel comfortable, expressing yourself that way. You could be a little bit uptight, because of this, or just coming against so many obstacles with that, and you feel all these restrictions with your self-expression, so it could be very difficult that way. Also, with Saturn in the 5th house, there's a lot of discipline that comes with fun, leisure, and even sex, okay? And again, this, like I said, it could feel very difficult. It could feel very hard. But what you have to understand is that this is a part in your life that you need discipline in, okay? So when it comes to, you know, your self-expression, your fun, Saturn is disciplining that. You're not, with this placement, you're not easily able to tap into that energy. You're gonna find lots of obstacles in this place, including sex as well too. There could be lots of obstacles to sex. A lot of people with this placement might not be ready to have sex. You know, they could have it much later in their lives because they're not comfortable with all that all that fun and just going out there and just expressing themselves and just having fun. They're not going to be that spontaneous. They're going to be very careful, okay? Because again, there's a discipline in your fun, in your leisure, in your self-expression. So these people are very slow to just go up and have fun. They're not going to be spontaneous like that. They're going to be looking at, you know, how things can be wrong, where things can go wrong. You know, if you want to do something fun, they're going to be the first people who like to look at the rules, look at the limitations, look at how things can go wrong. And it could be a Debbie Downer. It could definitely be a Debbie Downer, but this is because of Saturn in their 5th house. You know, they have to approach fun and leisure in a very disciplined way. And again, because our 5th house deals with our childhood is very sensitive, okay? So a lot of what happens in our childhood is going to affect how we grow up. So again, all this like restrictions with their self-expression, with having fun, dealing with that during their childhood and throughout time, it's going to train them to be very disciplined when it comes to that. And yeah, it could be a Debbie Downer, but this can also be a really good thing as well too, because these are the people who know how to make sure things are safe. If you're doing things out of limb, you know, these are going to be the people that are going to be like safe sex, you know, don't just go and just, you know, have sex unsafe without, you know, a condom or stuff like that. You know, these are going to be the people who are very disciplined and responsible when it comes to fun and leisure and just, you know, having fun. So there's a strong discipline in that, and that's because Saturn's disciplining this area in life. And it's very important to understand that because, like I said, this placement can feel so restrictive, like, oh my God, I have Saturn in my house of fun. But it's probably because you needed this. You know, you could have been, you know, if you even believe in past lives, you could have, you know, had so much fun and just wanted to do anything you want and didn't listen to any boundaries or rules and just having, you know, sex with whoever you wanted and just doing whatever you wanted. That can lead to problems too. You know, too much fun, you know, sometimes could lead to issues, you know, so you have to be responsible. And Saturn here is really pulling restrictions here because it wants to discipline you in this field, in this energy, okay, of leisure, of self-expression. So again, these people are very safe, very conservative, okay? They're, you know, if you're gonna want to do something out of them, they're gonna be the first people to be like, okay, well, can we do this? Is this too far? Is this dangerous? Should we do this? You know, and it's that discipline that they got from Saturn, you know, here in their house of fun. But what's also interesting about this placement is because Saturn here is in the 5th house, people can find discipline fun, okay? So, you know, Saturn, I always say Saturn's like, you get to see the best of Saturn. You get to really see how it works later in your life, okay? It's very karmic. Saturn likes to put you through a journey. You really start seeing the blessings of Saturn, usually in your late 20s, once you're reaching your Saturn return. All that discipline and all that work that you put in, if you put in, usually you start seeing the benefits of that when you get into your later 20s and especially into your 30s. So people like this could actually find a lot of fun in discipline, okay? So because of how they were raised, going the safe route, you know, or not even going the safe route, but being disciplined, being responsible, doing the things of Saturn. This could be fun and very rewarding for them. This could be a sense of leisure, okay? If we're gonna go do something fun, if you don't have rules and regulations with these people, they might not find that safe, okay? They might not find that fun. They will find something more fun that has regulations, that have boundaries, that have discipline. You come up with a fun plan for them to do. Make sure you have rules. Make sure you know where you're going, what you're doing, what are the limitations, what's going to work, where are the possible ways where things can fail, things can go wrong. So it could flip in that certain way because, again, Saturn is in their house of fun. So they're constantly going through this energy. This is very much displaced in Saturn in the 5th house. Being responsible with your leisure, with your fun. Also, with Saturn in the 5th house, okay? Again, with this kind of like later in life, you start to really get to reap the benefits of Saturn. Saturn wants you to turn fun and leisure, all these things, sex, fun, leisure, into a career, okay? How do you discipline this, okay? So you have all this discipline in this area in life, but how do you turn it into a career, okay? Saturn is all about career. It's all about business. It's all about structure, okay? It wants you to make things practical. It wants you to make things a job for you, a career for you, a purpose for you, okay? And the most responsible way of doing that is tapping into your career. So a lot of things about the 5th house, fun, performance, leisure, all these things, children, this can become a business for you. You can turn this into a career, okay? So say if you like the performing arts, like singing, dancing, whatever, because that's very 5th house, self-expression, fun, creative arts. Turn this into a career, okay? Turn this into a field, discipline it. Instead of just doing it for fun like the normal person does. Turn it into a business, turn it into something that you can make money off of, something you can profit off of. And this could be anything, okay? Anything, you know, 5th house also rules sex. Maybe you can go into sex education. Maybe you can educate people on sex and make that a career for yourself, okay? Anything dealing with children, okay? Maybe you take care of children. Maybe you, you know, have a daycare or have a summer camp or have a business dealing with entertaining children, okay? Turning these childhood things, fun, leisure, into a business, into a career, into something you can profit off of is very, very much Saturn in the 5th house, okay? And you can tap into this when you get older because that's when you really tap into your career. So what felt like a curse, what felt like restriction, what felt like discipline is now your business, is now your career, you know? So take these areas more seriously, okay? Saturn doesn't want you to get rid of fun. It doesn't want you to get rid of leisure. It wants you to be more responsible with it. And it also wants you to profit off of it. You know, that's why I'm saying, like, Saturn's never really trying to be your worst enemy. It always feels like that in the beginning. Especially since the 5th house deals with your childhood, your self-expression, just being a kid, you know. It does feel horrible in the beginning. Like, oh my God, I'm getting all this. I can't have fun. Everything's, you know, serious. I'm like being an adult at a young age. But what happens is you can really turn this around and turn it to a career for you. So now it's like all this fun stuff, all this leisure is now something you can profit off of and have a career, which is very adult-like. But you're doing it in fields that are fun. Saturn really flips the game. So tap into your arts, tap into your creativity, and you might get lots of restrictions with this in the beginning, okay? You know, but if you practice, if you train, and you turn it into something that you can profit off of, you turn it into a business, a career field that you go into, it can really flourish for you because Saturn will support you in this way. Okay, so you don't have to get rid of fun. You don't have to be a negative Nancy. You don't have to be a Debbie Downer. You don't have to be the person who can't have fun. You just have to take it seriously and make it practical. And what, you know, as adults, we love making money. You know, it's our jobs to, you know, tap into our careers and make a living for ourselves. So it's such a great way to do that with a fun career. You know, this is a manifestation of having a fun career, having a career that deals with self-expression and entertainment, going into the entertainment business, making a career out of that, you know. So things really flip and change with Saturn in the 5th house. Also with Saturn in the 5th house, 5th house deals with our children, because our children represents our creation, what we create. And it's through sex. Sex is already a form of leisure, and then we create our kids, and our kids are a reflection of us. They're our creation, and fifth house is, again, the creative arts. It's expression. You know, our kids are expressions and extensions of us. In a superficial sense, not in the most deepest sense, but just in the way that we pride ourselves. Like, here's our children, it looks like us, it's a reflection of us. That is fifth house. That's why it deals with not only childhood in the sense of like self-expression and that innocence of just having fun, but also literally our kids, the kids that we create, and how they reflect our features and our expression. So, you know, with Saturn here, you can have karma when it comes to kids and having kids. So I would say Saturn fifth house, maybe you need to have kids later in life. You know, this is not a placement to have kids early, like at all. Because you're gonna have lots of karma, you're gonna have lots of restrictions. It's gonna feel like baggage dealing with kids. So I would say have kids later in life when you're really responsible and ready. When you're ready to have that type of responsibility, because there can be strong karma with kids. Kids can feel more like baggage, okay, with this placement, all right, versus like something fun. So make sure you're ready with that, because again, fifth house is the house of sex, a fun sex. But sex isn't always fun, because you can have kids. It can become a huge responsibility. And that's why I said, if you do believe in past lives, everyone does it. But if you do, you could have been having lots of sex and having kids everywhere. So now you need discipline. You need discipline. You need to have control and responsibility and take this more seriously, and not just some fun activity and fun expression, just having your kids out everywhere. So that is definitely Saturn in the fifth house. Karma with kids. I say with this placement, you shouldn't be having kids early. You should only be having kids after your Saturn return, after you've had a career, so that you can take responsibility for this kids, because your kids will be a responsibility. It will not be this fun leisure thing. So definitely discipline with kids, okay? So yes, that is Saturn in the fifth house, okay? Saturn in the fifth house, I know this is like, oh my God, what a horrible placement. It's not, you know, it's definitely tough. Anywhere Saturn is, it's gonna be tough. Saturn is your coach, is gonna toughen you. But you're having this in the place of leisure because you need discipline, okay? You just out here expressing yourself and doing whatever you want. You need discipline when it comes to these fields in life. And if you do that, you can build a huge career. It becomes fun again. And later in your life, you can have a career in such fun fields of entertainment, fields of kids, self-expression, even sex. You can have careers in fields like this, okay? While everyone has like a career in something more serious, you have a career in the entertainment field, you know? So this placement is not, every placement in Saturn is not as bad as it seems. However, it is discipline, and if you go through the discipline, you go through the rules and regulations, you will come out a winner, okay? So don't feel too down about this placement. I know it's hard, but you can, Saturn just wants you to take this innocent, fun energy and be responsible with it. And I'm telling you, later in life, you're gonna see the benefits. You're going to see the benefits and the money, and you're gonna be a fun adult. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That is Saturn in the fifth house. And if you did, book a reading with me, okay? I do astro readings and tarot. All you gotta do is email me, and we could go forward with that. And check out my videos and my music. All the links are in the description box below. And I'll check you guys out on the next video.
Don't be shy, 'cause now I'm taking it back. Yeah, I'm taking it back. Oh, you taking it back? You don't be texting me back. You don't be texting me back.